Men are letting society collapse without them. Men are letting society collapse without them. They're done with the nonsense. They are walking away, and women are absolutely furious. Watch the video to fully understand why men are letting society collapse without them and the impact this is going to have on women and society as we go forward. And now let's just go ahead and jump into the video. And today's video comes from Man Guide. Their channel will be linked in the description.
I'm in my soft guy era. I need to be taken care of. I need somebody to pay my bills. I need emotional support.
Listen, fellas, we done with the whole masculine provider male era. We're in our soft guy era, okay? Drizzle, drizzle. Listen, you need to hold out and make that woman wait until she shows you that she's capable and that she's loving enough for you to give your body to her. You know, because at the end of the day, it's all about us. It's all about us. We just want our equal rights as men. So, drizzle, drizzle.
I've been tagged repeatedly in videos like this, and I know this is men's attempt to throw women's logic back in their faces. But the truth is, we already knew you were in your soft guy era. We thought you were soft when you couldn't resist a woman's temptation when you had a girlfriend, a fiance, or a wife. We knew you were in your soft guy era when you went to the store to get a pack of cigarettes or a gallon of milk and never came back. We knew you were in your soft guy era when you begged your baby mama not to put you on child support because you couldn't survive if she took that $250 a month, even though she was the one who was feeding the child and clothing the child, and she was the one who was providing shelter for that child as well. Like, we already knew you were soft. We're just proud of you guys for finally having the strength to admit it. I know this is meant to be a joke, but the joke's on you because you're only telling women what we already knew. So go ahead, get your laughs, get your views, get your engagement, and then get out of single women's faces because they don't care.
I got a message for Decepticons like her. Just because we're not spoiling you, that doesn't mean that we're soft. It means that we're smart. Why would we pay full price for a bedwench that has been used up by Chad and Tyrone? In this soft guy era, we only spoil the 18-year-old virgins. So if not that, if you ain't trying, we ain't interested. Drizzle drizzle. Ironically, she described the Chads and Tyrones, which is why a lot of men have gone MGTOW. Most men can't even get a date with these entitled broads, yet alone bang a couple, but she, like most modern women, only attribute the toxic actions of the select few, which is the top 10% men, to all men. So after these thoughts get used up by Chad and Tyrone for free, then they have a long list of demands of what is required to be with them. And that's why the soft guy era has taken social media by storm, because it mocks these bedwenches' quote-unquote standards, which are actually entitlements. Wait, they were in the provider era before? Did I miss something? Just goes to show these females deal mostly with Chad and Tyrone, who are usually broke or have no incentive to provide because they smashed for free already. The most liked comments with over 10,000 likes says, "Can they stop copying our homework?" These broads still don't get it's a joke. I must have missed the whole masculine provider era. That's because you bedwenches had your own masculine provider era with feminism. Why would you want our money if you're so-called strong and independent and don't need no man? I thought you baddies, CEOs, and bosses with your own bag. For those who don't know or aren't aware of the typical entitlement movement these females have on social media, many thoughts call it the sprinkle movement, which the soft guy era is making fun of. Here's some videos to give you an idea.
As well, these men love to say, "And what do you bring to the table?" Honey, there is no table for us to sit at. You have no money to buy the table. We're sitting on the ground. So rather ask, what do you bring to the ground?
You said, what are you bringing to the table? Men are tired. I'm not bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you want a woman to bring something to the table, go to IHOP. Go to the restaurant.
If you're on a date and they're looking at another woman, look at cars. Because a man can be cute and broke, and he knows you ain't going nowhere. But looking at cars is totally different. Oh my God, look, there's a Bentley. I wonder who's driving that. You know, that way he sees. You're not looking at looks, you're looking at money. I mean, yeah. Don't look at other men, look at cars. That'll get them.
You see, guys, these modern women, their behavior has become so off-putting for men that men are walking away. They're going overseas. They're finding women who appreciate them and celebrate them, or they're going MGTOW and choosing to remain single indefinitely, avoiding relationships in society and saying that we're just going to live our best lives away. There's a big thing happening right now among men in the manosphere, and it's something that's beginning to really manifest and grow. And that's the learning how to be alone movement that's beginning to take over. I would call it a movement in the sense that more men are beginning to join on and get word of it, because so many guys are afraid of it. I've gone through it myself, and it's put my life at risk. And a lot of men go through this. This is why a lot of men end up losing so much, and they get married multiple times and they get screwed multiple times. And the reason why it happens is because they can't be alone. They are so afraid of being alone, so afraid of being alone with their thoughts. I'm there. Trust me, I've been there. I've lived that life. I still struggle with it. So afraid of being alone with their thoughts and with themselves, and not having someone to speak to them or tell them what to do, or just to be there, that it drives them insane, that they run out and they will pick up a toxic person, a bossy toxic person that will bring stress into their lives, and they're going to tolerate this because they're afraid of being alone. And I fully understand that there are some of you who are like, well, yeah, that's not me. I'm not afraid of being alone. I'm by myself. I'm living my best life. I hear you and I respect that. But let me explain this. A lot of men struggle with this notion. Most men struggle with loneliness and the fear of being alone. If men did not struggle with the fear of being alone, most men would not be in relationships, period. Most men would not get into relationships, period. Most men would not be going out to the club late, in the evenings and doing, back in the day, because they were always looking for someone who would just give them a little bit of attention. You have to understand that attention is a currency for women, all right? And it's something that they get very easily. As men, it's a waste of our time. It's a waste of our resources. It's a waste of our brain power, of our energy. I think about my evenings so much, how I've thrown away so much of my life busy chasing women, worried about women. I could have been going to the gym and working out and feeling good after that, after a good workout, go and take a shower, go hang out with my best friend, go watch a movie, chill out. I had a close friend for a very long time. It was like 15 years, going all the way back to high school. And we didn't appreciate that relationship because we were too busy worried about women, believing that we were supposed to go and find our Disney princess, find our person. The stupid crap, absolutely stupid crap that is force fed to us in Disney movies. You guys understand that the very notion of having just one woman for a man is kind of crazy? Because if you're a man that could attract multiple women, why would you settle for just one? Now, many of you will go, well, you can only handle one. That's incorrect. If you're a high value man and you have multiple options, why are you only going to restrict yourself to one thing? Because that's what God wants you to do? Think about how women operate. Women are hypergamous by nature. They all have a backup man. 50% of women revealed in a study recently that they have a backup man, and then we know that the rest of them are lying. And when we say backup man, we're not talking about, a side man. No, 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 no. We're talking about a man that they will leave to go to their husband. So they have a man in reserve. Married women, 50% of married women have a backup man waiting in reserve that they will leave their husbands for and go to. So we're not even talking about the other guys, all right, that they're using for physical intimacy. All right, that's a whole other subject. We're talking about an entire other man that they're going to transition to. This is how they operate. So you have to understand, not only do they have a man that they will leave you for, they also have a group of men that they are having relationships with while they are married, because the sanctity of marriage doesn't mean anything. There is no sanctity of marriage, all right? Marriage was originally between man, woman, and God, okay? That's it. Then the state got involved, convinced people that it was something they had to do. They had to do to be in a relationship, and that's how we ended up in this situation. And they basically threw in a bunch of like little things like, oh yeah, we'll give you tax benefits, and all of this, and there's all kinds of benefits, and you have to, and then the church, of course, it got involved. The church was like, yeah, well, you have to do it, we're gonna do it in the church, so now it's official. Now God sanctions it, because you need a priest or a pastor or a reverend to sanction it by God. That's a load of total BS. And then the state needs to make it official by signing the contract. And then, guys, that's not how marriage used to work. Marriage used to be something that was done between families. It used to bring wealth. It used to be a cultivation of wealth and power. Marriage was something that was done primarily among the wealthy and the influential. It was not done by common folk. Okay, you could say that this woman is your wife, but she was not. You were not legally married to her. You did not form a contract with her. Okay, contracts were for empires. Contracts were for clans. Contracts were for wealthy families. They were not for the common man and the common woman. And let me just make this very, very clear. The common person was poor. The common man and women were poor, but women were very happy to have a poor man, because without that poor man, they would not be able to eat. They would not be able to survive. I want to tell you what's very interesting, and Man Guy brought up a very important point. Women that are going around saying that they want a man who is, has all of these qualities and all of this money. The reason why they're doing this is because they don't understand the concept of value or wealth. They've already went out there, messed around with Chad and Tyrone, who got it for free, and now they want to tax men who have to work very hard for their money. And most of the women who are saying that they want these millionaire men who make all of this money, don't actually make that amount of money themselves. And then when you begin to inquire and like find out, well, how do you make your money? Like, for example, a woman's like, well, I make over $100,000 a year, or I make $300,000 a year. And you're like, okay, well, how do you make that money? And you just kind of glance at a lot of these women, and you just look at how they're dressed, and you're like, yeah, I can figure out how you make your money. I can figure out how you make your money. Because so many of these women are on OnlyFools and Lonely Fans on Instagram. Okay, so they're making their money another kind of way, and they think that the average man is supposed to go out there and do this, like make money like that. Like, that's a joke. These women do not even understand where money comes from in reality, because they've been living off the simp economy. If you are selling pictures and photos and other things online, because a lot of women will sell used underwear online, all right, and make a ton of money off Simps, and they're like, wow, if I can make all of this money so easily, so can you. They don't understand that's not how it works, because they've been living off the simp economy. They're in reality, for the average person, if a woman goes out there and she tries to make money the normal way, the average woman in the United States makes between $36,000 and $40,000 a year, while the average man makes around $50,000 a year. And I mean, it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard to make that kind of money as a man, for the average man. There's some of you idiots in the comments who are like, that's not hard at all, Angry. I make $100,000 easy. Listen, good for you, but it's not easy for the average man. It took me 10 years to be able to develop the skill sets to make six figures, to be able to build a six-figure business in a year. But that took me 10 years to develop those skill sets so that I can do something like that. The average man doesn't have that life experience. The average man doesn't. Guys, this is a cultivation of knowledge. All right? This is what I do is a cultivation of knowledge, but it's something I've gained over years and years of experience and collaborating and studying and learning. All right? And failing. This is knowledge I've gained over the last 25 years almost. All right, I started my first business back in like 2001. All right, the average man doesn't know these things. The average man is still working for some other guy or trying to hustle, and it's hard out there. It's cold out there. It's not easy. Many of you do not know what it's like when you're starting over from the very beginning, and just to get a single dollar or a couple dollars, it feels impossible, especially if your health is bad. I came back from hell. I've been to hell and back. I was sick for almost 4 years. I went to hell and back, and I had to basically just keep working and hustling and grinding and pushing, and it was a nightmare. And guys, I'm just fortunate that my brain was like, I was able to start using my brain again, because that's all I have. It's between me, God, and my brain and my ability to think. But like, I was in such bad shape that I wasn't able to think very clearly. And you don't know what it's like when when you have health issues suddenly, and you end up with like a massively serious health issue, and you are suffering. Most women think they're going to be healthy forever and they're going to live forever. They don't understand that it just takes, almost everyone goes through periods of ups and downs in life, and ill and sickness in life. And most women have not planned for those periods of sickness. They have not planned for those periods of illness. And they're not going to have good men. Men basically see what's happened. The only people that are going to be running around right now are the simps getting into relationships. And a lot of the simps aren't even going anymore. The simp economy is moving overseas. First it moved online, now it's moving overseas. So most of the simps are not even going on dates. Women don't want to date them, and they're not dating. A lot of them are just basically spending money on OnlyFools and OnlyFans on Twitch and on these other platforms. They're paying $5.99 a month for them their lady for their crush to bust it wide open, and that's pretty much it. That's what these simps are up to, and the simps are all over the manosphere. There are tons and tons of simps in the manosphere, and the reason why there are tons of simps in the manosphere is because they have nowhere else to go. Women don't understand the hardship and the hell on earth that's now coming. And look at inflation, guys. I look at the prices of things, and it's like everything is double, triple, 4 times, 5 times what it was just a few years ago. All right, like things that cost $1 a couple of years ago, it's like $4 or $5 now. $4 or $5, sometimes even $6. I saw a video on YouTube where this guy went, he was like, he took $1 and he went into a store like in 2010, and he walks out of the store and he has like a bag of chips and a bag of chips and a soda and tons of stuff, right? And then he goes into the store in 2024, and he puts $1 down, and he comes out of the store with a candy bar. And I'm going to be very honest with you. A lot of places are charging $1.50 for that candy bar now. And I guarantee you, I guarantee you that candy bar will soon cost $2. If it already doesn't, it will soon. That candy bar will soon cost $2. Candy bar that used to cost $0.25, and it was 50 cents. Now it's going to be $2 soon, if it already isn't. Some places, don't be shocked when it's $3 or $3.50 or $4 for a single candy bar. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you want a candy bar, you can't, you want to enjoy a candy bar. Many of you are like, well, I just want to order it. Yeah, well, if everywhere it costs $4 for a candy bar, and you really want to enjoy a candy bar, you're going to have to spend that $4 for that damn candy bar. And many of you are like, well, I'll never do it. Well, yeah, well, then you'll never have a candy bar ever again. Well, that's fine. I won't. And you're full of it. You're full of it. All right. You're not going to go for the rest of your life without a candy bar. Maybe you'll get one on cheap online, like $2 a candy bar. But you see what I'm trying to say? Like, for the things that you enjoy, the foods that you love, you can't spend your entire life just eating crap and eating like the bare minimum stuff and drinking water. Maybe some of you can live this way, but it's no way to live. You get sick of it. You become miserable. All right, just eating some something plain and untasty. Sometimes you just want a hamburger. Sometimes you just want a steak. Sometimes you just want a slice of pizza. All right, it's not abnormal to want to have something different once in a while. It's not abnormal. Not everyone's going to be on a Mediterranean diet and living these perfect and healthy and clean lives always, all right? And those of you that like to act like that, you're full of it. Totally full of it. It's hard out there. It's really, really hard out there for a lot of people. And it's only going to get worse. And a lot of women are very much responsible for pushing society in this direction. They pushed men out. And what are men doing? Men are letting society collapse without them. Men are letting everything go downhill. Soft guy era started out as a joke, but it's not a joke anymore. Men are extremely serious, where they're prioritizing themselves and their well-being. And they're basically telling women, listen, ladies, You can deal with things on your own. You can plan for your future on your own. And if you want something, you're going to have to pay for it yourself. And if you want me, you're going to have to pay for me. All right? You're going to have to bring value. And just to make it clear, we're not even just, so we're going overseas, and we're going to find women overseas that are going to bring actual value into our lives, because a lot of you really have nothing to offer. Okay? You say that you are the table, then you're going to be sitting at that table alone, sweetie.
Would you like to be my wife?
Would I like to be your wife? No.
Why?
I don't want to get married. I want money.
I give you no problem.
I ain't gonna say, hey, I'm gonna pay for your lunch. Just tell me how much it is. I said, okay, it's $17. He gonna say, $17? Where did you go? I said, Zaxby's. He goes, what on the menu are you getting for $17?
Like, y'all, seriously, what, like, I am not sure, like, what ethnicity what ethnicity this chick is, but, like, this is, like, so hood. Like, so hood. Like, women have changed so much. Like, the masculine energy from these ladies, like, that's some extreme masculine energy. Real masculine energy. Deep voices, masculine energy, y'all. Masculine energy.
I was like, you know what, just don't worry about it. Like, I got it. Don't even worry about it. He gonna say it's not about the money. I got the money. Do you? Do you have it? Because it sounded very much so like you don't have $17, which is fine. But why would you offer to pay for somebody's meal and then you gonna complain? And what's funny, it's not funny, but what's funny to me is when I take myself out to eat and I'm splurging on me because I'm taking me out, the bill be like $150.
Yeah, guys, these women don't have $150 to spend on a meal, okay? Like, keep in mind, like, they are broke. That's just, like, they are capping right here. The bill is $150. Guys, they are not spending $150 on themselves most of the time. They don't have that kind of money. The average woman doesn't have that kind of money to spend. She is looking for a man to go and do these things for her. I'm telling you right off the bat. All right, she's out here trying to shame guys and act like she has money. She can drop $150 on a meal every time she goes out by herself. That's absolute cap. They are capping so hard. Capping means lying, okay? It's a new age slang. They are capping so hard. And this is a sad reality that they are living in, that we are living in right now, okay? Because they want everyone to believe that they are high value and that men are supposed to be out here dropping crazy amounts of money on them. No.
It's just and you talking about $17? Who gonna tell them? Oh, these men be so cheap for real. Like, I can't catch a break.
First question I ask when we go on a date, are you going to delete every bitch off of your phone right now or no? And if they can't say yes, clicked, bye, done. I don't care. Granny's gotta go too.
He doesn't call, you don't call. If he doesn't text, you don't text. If he's not initiating dates or quality time, you don't initiate dates or quality time. You have to match his energy, because if you're constantly waiting on the sideline or then being the one reaching out first, you are becoming the golden retriever because you're chasing him.
Guys, let me make this very clear. In a relationship, there's the adoree and the adorer. What kind of woman what role do you think women are in with Chad and Tyrone? Do you think that Chad and Tyrone is chasing them, or they're the ones chasing Chad and Tyrone? Do you think they adore Chad and Tyrone, or, you know, do you think Chad and Tyrone adores them, or do you think that they adore Chad and Tyrone? Who do you think adores the other more? Like, all right, who is the adoree and the adorer? In these relationships with Chad and Tyrone, women are the adorer. So they are basically adoring Chad and Tyrone are the adorees. They are the ones receiving the admiration of these women. And women are not actually truly happy in a relationship unless the person that they're in a relationship, they are the ones that adore them. All right? So she has to adore you. She has to view you as being higher value than she is. That's the only way that a woman can actually ever truly be happy. All right? And you also have to make yourself unavailable. Never be too available. That most women do not care if a man cheats on them in a relationship. They'll say that they do. They absolutely don't, because they'll cheat themselves. All right? That's the reason why a lot of women, if not most of them, will say that they're fine giving their men a guilt-free pass, because they themselves have already cheated. There's a lot of misconceptions about how women operate and how women think. All right, guys. I had friends who were girls. I had close friends who were girls, and when their dudes were away, they were cheating. They were cheating. I had a friend, and for example, her dude had to travel, and he asked me to check up on his girl, and bro, she's basically there. She's literally there, getting her back blown out by some dude. And what am I supposed to do? I cannot tell this dude his girl's cheating on him so that he can go and act stupid. All right. So he can do something crazy? Absolutely not. All right. I can't tell him what's going on. I know exactly what's going on. I can't tell him what's happening. I know you're like angry. You're a terrible friend. No, I'm not a terrible friend, dude. I'm not trying to destroy their relationship. I know you're guys. Listen to me. Listen. She had cheated on him before. Guys, a lot of men who've had friends who were girls have the same exact stories. All right, you know that she's been cheating on old boy. You know that she's been cheating on old boy. Or if you have a sister, a lot of y'all who have sisters, you know she's been cheating on old boy. You know she's been cheating on old boy. All right, let's not even pretend. Okay, so old boy is here like, oh, I'm trying to reach her, I can't reach her. Bro, that's because she's getting her back blown out right now. Take it easy, man. All right, chill out a little bit. Give her some time to clean up and freshen up, and then she'll respond to you. She'll respond to you once she's done and once she's rested and and it doesn't hurt so much anymore from side to side. Yeah, guys, I'm just being so real. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being really, really honest with you. That's how women are. Women do not have this moral compass like guys think they do. This whole Disney movie thing. Most women are fine with cheating. They're fine with cheating and they're fine with being cheated on as long as the guy who's cheating on them is high value. In fact, it comes with the territory. Most women would rather be with a man that cheats on them than a man that is broke. And if you see street interviews, that the women will say the exact thing. All right? The women will say this over and over. All right, when they're asked in these street interviews, would you rather be with a man who cheats on you or a man who's broke? And 99% of these women will say they would rather be with a man who cheats on them than a man who's broke, because women don't want to be with a man that they have to build something with. Modern women meet men at the finishing line. And this is something that has just never, like, guys, this is like literally over the last 50 to 60 years this has happened. Because previously, guys that went on to become president of the United States or become, leaders of large corporations and stuff, they met their wives when they were nothing, when they had potential, but they were not finished on their journeys yet. And they married these women when they were when they were still young, and they began forming families, and these women stuck with them and built a life together. Modern women don't operate like that because they don't want to suffer. They want everything handed to them, and they want it all. And because they're able to go out there and earn a living for themselves, they seem to believe that as a result, they don't need a man to help them. And the reality is that they're out here living off the simp economy for decades. And then once the simp economy begins to dry up, or they're like, okay, well, I want to, I want some stability now. They want a simp to come along, a plan B guy to come along that has all these crazy characteristics, and they don't even love this man. That's not the man that they love, okay? The men that they love are not the men who are 6 feet tall. The men that they love are not 6 feet tall. They don't have $1 million. They don't drive a nice car. That's total lies. The men that they love are the men that basically can do nothing for them. But they're the guys that they will adore. The bad boys, the Chaz, the Tyrones, the Little Ponchos. Little Poncho is a superstar. Little Poncho is a superstar in their eyes. They're all competing for Little Poncho. They're all fighting for Little Poncho. They all want to kiss his feet and his fat little belly. They all want to give him tequila. They want to pour the tequila for him and wipe his mouth and his mustache. When taco sauce gets in there, burrito sauce gets in there, they want to clean him up. When he farts, they think it's cute. These are the men that they love. They don't like you. The guy who's 6 feet tall that makes above 6 figures and has a 6-pack, that's the plan B guy. She will never love this man. She can like certain things. She can like how he looks. She can like things that he can do for her. You know, she can like certain things about him, but she will never actually love him. The men that she actually loves are the men who don't do anything for her and that she will do things for, because she adores those men. So she is the adorer and they are the adorees. They are the objects of her affection. And as more men wake up and realize their value and their worth, women don't like this, because if you have too many men that are now opting out of relationships, opting out of dating, and saying, we're the ones with the value, we are the prize, that women have, there's nothing women can do. You basically end up with a society of a bunch of single women and men that basically will pick and choose as they so desire. And with soft guy era and MWA and then going overseas to find women, women cannot compete. That's the reason why all of these women are pissed off that men are going overseas and finding women who are fit, feminine, and friendly, because they can't compete with these women. So their only power, the only thing that they can do is to shame these women, shame these men, and use lies to try to destroy them, and the men who destroy the women and destroy the men. And they will never stop doing it. You think that they don't know what they're doing is wrong? You think they don't know that they're spitting lies? Of course they do. They're not stupid. These are grown women, all right? They literally think about, what lie can I come up with to destroy this person's life, or to shame these men, to make their lives so miserable that they won't leave. Because I don't like them, I don't want them, but I need them, but I'll never admit that I need them, so I'll do whatever it takes to prevent them from leaving, so they're always available, so I can take advantage of them. Guys, a lot of women are going to find themselves in extraordinary poverty in the coming years. Almost half of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 are going to be childless and single. And that's not counting single mothers. When you factor in single mothers, you're going to have 70 to 90% of women who are going to be single, and they're not going to be able to survive. 10 cities, it doesn't matter who's president. It doesn't matter who's president next year. We are still going to go through extremely hard economic times. We are still going to experience a serious economic downturn. All right? History rhymes, and I'm telling you, all right? You know what rhymes with recession? We had the Great Recession back in 2007, and you know what rhymes with recession? Depression, okay? History rhymes. Just like we had another, global health emergency back in like 1919. Guess what? Almost 100 years to the date, we had another one, regardless of how you feel about that. Okay? When was the Great Depression? When did that happen? That happened back in 1929. We are almost in 2025, guys. When it rains, it pours. We are already on very shaky economic times. We are $35 trillion in debt. Okay? And it's only growing each and every single year. We cannot even pay the interest on this debt, but everything's going to be okay, right? We're in the midst of major global conflicts around the world, but everything's going to be okay. The petrodollar no longer exists. So, for example, previously, the U.S. dollar was the only dollar that could be used to purchase gasoline, to purchase oil from Saudi Arabia. Well, they canceled that. They canceled that deal. So now the petrodollar is no longer going to be a thing. It's no longer a thing. So it's no longer the reserve currency used to purchase oil. All right. So we don't even have that anymore. BRICS is coming along, and BRICS represents 40% of the global economy. 40%. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That represents 40% of the global global economy. Those countries by themselves. And now you have NATO countries like Turkey requesting to join BRICS. Okay? Turkey is a NATO country, and they are requesting BRICS membership. So at this point, guys, if you want to buy things from China, and everyone has to buy things from China, you're going to have to pay in BRICS currency if you want to buy your goods. If Apple wants to pay for their iPhones, they're going to have to pay in BRICS. Think about it. And where are the places that you manufacture where things are manufactured? In China or India. That's it. And China is basically making big moves in Mexico right now. But what do you think is going to happen with Mexico? You guys are going to see they're fighting tooth and nail to make sure Mexico starts using BRICS as their reserve currency, because they're investing so much in Mexico. Mexico is not going to want to lose China's business. They're not going to want to lose their business. They're not going to want to lose the business from China, because it's changing the country. So it's bringing money into the country. So guess what? they'll turn around and say, okay, well, if the U.S. wants to buy things from Mexico, they're going to ask that, you know, they pay in bricks. So bricks is going to become the default reserve currency of the world. Okay, they're going to ask other countries, if you want to purchase from us, you're going to have to pay for our goods using bricks. It's a serious situation. And we have to wake up and realize that this is the reality that's now unfolding upon us. It's a massive change that's going to shift the global economy. It's going to shift how everything works and operates around us.
Doing him. You have to remember that you are carrying one of the most powerful feminine energies literally in your womb in this entire universe. And this is what men want from you.
Get ready with me to find a wealthy white man.
You can have a little hair showing in the back, okay? Just show a little bit in the back.
If you want to catch a billionaire, honey, you need more blush. And don't blend it, okay? Don't blend the blush. You're gonna need some red lipstick. And don't make the lipstick perfect, okay? We want, what is her name? What's Black China Mama name? Tokyo Tiny or Tony, whatever. Okay, you want to look like you've been up all night, okay, drinking champagne. And you don't want your wig to be silky like this. So be a little ashy too, okay? A little ashy on the legs, you know, because they like you to look like you just woke up from an all-nighter. Now that you've perfected the wig, honey, you need some kind of headpiece. Something that says, I'm here. I can't dress, but I have money. We're going to throw on... Gotta be lived in. They don't want a slut, so cover up a little bit. They want to know you got the body, but don't show it all. Yeah, honey. They want to know that you're going to spend their money on the wrong shit. What y'all think, the headband or the hat? The other option you can do, if you don't want to wear the coat, gloves, honey, they love some gloves. You gotta have the jewelry on top of the gloves. You feel me? You gotta put the jewelry on the gloves. Oh shit. But that's okay. But look at that. An improvement. Leave it. Don't fix it. Leave it. Leave it. White man find me. And if you don't have these, get to push up and push them up. Now you have to learn how to pose. More. Tease it. Tease it like you tease a man. Because they don't like the junk in the trunk, they like the junk in the front. And you too will get out of poverty.
And you too will get out of poverty. Guys, these women are in deep poverty, deep student loan debt, deep credit card payments. Y'all, these women are in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty. Like a lot of us out here have our bills paid off, don't have any debt. All of these women, guys, are going to be trying to file for bankruptcy when everything goes downhill. And someone said this, that the state is going to make it more difficult to file for bankruptcy because and to discharge credit card debt because if they don't, everyone's going to be doing it. Everyone is going to be filing for bankruptcy and discharging credit card debt and acting like they just don't give a damn. Gen Z, like a lot of Gen Zers are filing for disability, and they're filing for disability, and they're filing for bankruptcy. All right, and they're basically saying that we're mentally. They're saying that they're disabled. They're discharging all of their credit card debt. So these people have tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, and they're only like 23 years old, and they're basically filing for disability and saying that they're mentally disabled, and they're actually succeeding in getting disability from the state because all they have to do is let the state go to their employers and speak to their employers and ask their employers, hey, is this person disabled? Is this person not capable of doing a job? And their employers are going to say, oh my God, no, this person is absolutely a living hell. They are hell on earth. They cannot follow directions. They cannot do this. They are absolutely disabled. That's like 99% of Gen Zers right now. If you go to the employers of 99% of Gen Zers and you ask their employers, is this person disabled? Are they mentally disabled? Their employers will beg you to take them away, put them on disability so they will never come back to society. That's how bad Gen Z is right now, okay? So a lot of women are going to be filing for credit card, trying to discharge credit card debt and through bankruptcy. And I'm telling you, I really think it will happen where they're going to change the laws around to make it harder for them to do this. And here's the thing, to even file for bankruptcy, you still actually need some money to do it. It's not as easy. I forget how much it costs, but it used to be extremely easy to do before. But now it'll actually take some work out of you, cost you something. And you're going to have so many women walking around with massive amounts of debt, trying to look for a sugar daddy, looking for a dummy, plan B guy to take them in and rescue them. And they're going to find this time around it's just not going to happen. They're not going to have access to men the way that they did have access to men in the past. They're not going to have access to men who are going to be there and going to say, okay, yeah, baby, I'll bail you out. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. These men are walking away. These men are turning away. These men are going their own way. Men are not playing games with women anymore. Men are not putting up with the nonsense anymore. Women did this to themselves. They made very poor decisions. They made very poor choices. And now men are walking away and saying, hey, ladies, you're on your own. You're going to have to figure this one out for yourself because I'm not coming to rescue you. You're right. You're a big girl. You're going to have to figure it out. You said you're Miss Independent, so go be independent by yourself. Go be independent over there because I'm not coming to save you. No one's going to save you. Jesus maybe will, but I'm not. All right. And he's not going to work through me because I've already learned that it's me and him and I'm going my own way with him. That's what's really happening right now. I have some idiots in the comments who are pissed off that I'm talking about these subjects, saying that I shouldn't be talking about women. I talk about Jesus a lot. I should stay in my lane and talk about Jesus and walk away. Like, listen to me. They want me to be silent because they're simps. And these simps don't want the word talked. They don't want us talking about them and revealing who they are and their true nature. When I talk about the fact that Simps are agents of the state, that they are here to do the bidding of the evil one, that the Simps they have the spirit of Jezebel within them. They don't want you to hear that. They don't want you to know just how wicked they are and how evil, the amount of evil that they have in their hearts. These men are filled with hatred and wickedness and evil, all right? The Jezebel spirit is not exclusive to women. The Jezebel spirit inhibits both men and women. And modern Sims, they have the Jezebel spirit all written over them, okay? Their God is money, their God is pleasure, and that is what's controlling them. They have a desire for money and they have a desire for pleasure and nothing else. This is the way that they survive. They would betray all of humanity for their own to feed their own desires and perversions, because these are very perverted men, very, very perverted men, very sick, very twisted, very evil, very wicked, ungodly, and unjust. Okay, they have the Jezebel spirit and they walk with the evil one. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, you really enjoy the content, you want even more, head over to and subscribe to the Angry Guy. Subscribe to the Angry Guy Clubhouse on Substacks. You can dive into our podcast, Gen X Stories, and more. And also you get our free digital nomad blueprint. There's a link to a description of the video. It's awesome. It's lit. It's really good. So go and check that out. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Men are letting society collapse without them. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.